he saw me with the camera and he's like, hey buddy, like put your camera where I'll knock you out or whatever. And I was like, I told him, I did tell him nicely. I said, hey man, I've already asked all these girls. I didn't mean to get you in it. This isn't live. Like I got you. Like I can make sure you're not in the video. Came at me one more time, like kind of was like got closer, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like I'm over here buying all these girls lady drinks. They're in my video willingly, having a good time. And then I turned off my camera and I said, okay man, like we could do this.
Welcome to Fruiting Body Podcast with your host, Brendan. Today, we have an absolute YouTube legend of a guest. It is Brennybrez. Well, his real name is Brendan, and as is mine, and both of us are Canadian, so this is going to be an epic episode. I could say subscribe. I'm not going to, but we're just going to get it started. Jump right into it on the Fruiting Body Podcast, as we do, as I stumble across my words in this introduction, but we only shoot one time. First of all, Brenny, thanks for joining us. I think the whole fact that I had to say my name and then your name just threw it like way out of whack. Usually the guests will bring back for second episodes, which I think if you're around, we'll do that. And it gets a bit more casual. What I like to do with these first episodes is allow you to just tell your story. And I mean, you're a YouTuber. You're here in Phuket, Thailand. You're moving to Bangkok. You come from Canada, beautiful country. What brought you here? What's your story?
Well, first of all, nice to meet you. We've already been talking for a few minutes, but I got to ask you quick. How do you spell your name?
Brendan.
Bingo, same.
We're a very rare breed. Usually it's Brandon.
Dude.
And at a certain point in how old are you now?
27. I turned 28.
Okay, so I'm 37, turning 38.
Yeah. There's
a certain point, I think around your age, you keep pushing it, but there's a point where people call you Brandon, you're like, sure.
Exactly. It might just be the Canadian in us, but you just let it go. No, you're like, screw it.
You know, I just don't want to spell it. I'm like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Like you go through the ENANON for about 15 minutes and you're like, whatever you want to call me, sure, let's go.
Some people call me, they haven't figured this out too from my YouTube. They call me Benny sometimes.
Oh, really?
They just skip the R. So usually people from the UK or Aussies, they'll be like, Benny, and they'll come and surprise me at the bar or something, and I don't even know, I don't know who they are. And I'm like, sometimes I just let it go if they're older or whatever, but sometimes they're younger. I'm like, hey man, just so you know, it is Brenny. It's like, I don't know how long you've been staring at my YouTube and seeing it wrong for the last, month or two, but yeah.
It's a silent R. In Canada, we have silent R's.
Totally. So
let's jump. So you came from Vancouver. Can you kind of, we like to start back at like your roots. Like, what did you do in Vancouver? What was your childhood like?
So for me, it was like, I actually had no real good reason to like give up what I had going for me. Like it was, I had a really good job. Well, not a really good job. It's construction, but like I was a young, I guess you call like a young prodigy. My dad's like the general super at this very big construction company. And I've been working there since I was 15. So, I did a summer and then I went and worked like at the age of 17, right when I graduated. I actually got kicked out of my house, got into like a fight with my mom and dad. And my dad called me back like a week later. He's like, you're starting work next week, buying you boots. You're starting Monday. I was like, okay, well, whatever. Let's we'll roll with that. And I worked there for 7-8 years. Was doing, good. I was making, for my age, I was making great money. Like I couldn't complain. Did I like my job? Not really. Did I like the guys I worked with? Absolutely. Like the people I worked with, the camaraderie was cool, man. It was like, that's one thing I do miss. And I guess.
But it's hard doing construction. I mean, in Vancouver in the winters, I mean, it is. And the summers are great. But I mean, as that rolls in, I mean.
Well, the summers suck too, because you know how hot it gets.
Yeah.
Like there's some days we actually get shut down sometimes where it gets too hot when we have the forest fires and everything. And some people don't realize how hot it really gets in Vancouver in the summer. Like it will have like 45 degrees for like 2 weeks sometimes. And it's like, people are like, what? How does it get that hot? It's like, well, we have like a heat wave and all the forests burn and we shut down work for a few days. And yeah.
Well, Vancouver's gorgeous. I've been to Kelowna years ago, West Bank, this area. It's gorgeous out there. But when you're working out there, again, you're saying you're starting at 17, 18, you're only 27. So that little bit of a gap there, I mean, there's that point where you're like kind of, fuck it all, fuck this, what's next for me in life? And how quickly did that translate over to Thailand, or is there another part of that story before you came here?
Yeah, so I went to Thailand first. Like I went and traveled there first one time. So it was 2020. This is the craziest part of the whole thing is that I went right before the pandemic. So it was like January 1st. No, December 20, it would have been December 30th, 2019 and rolling into 2020. And then, yeah, I went, and, me and my two friends, I convinced to come with me. Oh, no, sorry. I went the first time with my cousin. We went to the Philippines first. Philippines for a month, and then after that, we went and met up two of my other friends from Canada. They met us in Thailand, in Bangkok. First time for everything, and then we were there, and it was like in the Philippines. We started seeing like masks. I don't know if we could talk about COVID much, but like I don't want to.
I think
we're okay.
I think it's past that. I don't think they ban it anymore.
Yeah, I think we're okay now.
Yeah.
Nowadays, but yeah, kind of what happened was like we started seeing people wear masks. And it was like 2 weeks into the Philippines, and like these people didn't realize there's lots of Chinese tourists in the Philippines. First time traveling abroad ever, and we were like, why are these people all wearing masks? We started hearing about this COVID thing. We're like, whatever, not a big deal. And then we went to Thailand, it's become more of a big deal. But we're still on Khao San Road. We're in Koh Phangan. We're doing everything. Nothing's a big deal yet. We go to Bali. Right when we went to Bali, so this was in the beginning of March, and as soon as we get to Bali, they like heat checked us, give us the forehead check, and we had to write more forms down and everything than we normally would. And we were like, what the heck is going on here? And then it was like, I actually remember this, and it is funny that you have mushrooms above my head, because I'll say this story quick, is we were in Gili T, and if you know where Gili T is, have you ever been to Bali? Yeah, awesome little party island. It's known for having good mushrooms. And one night, me and my buddies did mushrooms, and it was like 2 nights later, we were like, there was some crazy big fire thing where they burned something, and it was just like some cool thing. And then they're like, you want to do mushrooms again? I was like, shit, I mean, not really, but we'll do a little bit. We did a little bit. And I remember we come back to the hostel, and we're sitting in the pool, and my buddy, me and my one friend, we have 3 of us now. It's just me and my other 2 friends. One of them does not like mushrooms at all, so he's more of a sitter. And the other guy, me and him, just did some mushrooms. And he my one sitter buddy's like, hey, your dad's calling. You want to answer it? And I was like, I wasn't really like that high or anything. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm having a good trip. You know what I mean? Give me the phone. I answer. My dad's like, hey, Bren, what's going on? I'm like, just chilling in the pool, hanging out with the boys. And he's like, well, you better get your ass home right now, because the world is like ending. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, hey, I might not want to talk to you right now, because I'm not in the right headspace anymore. And then my mom just grabs the phone out of his hand. She's like, sorry, Bren, I know you don't want to hear that. It's not what you want to hear from your dad when you're traveling and having a good time. So then she goes, and I say, Mom, I got to tell you, honestly, I'm on mushrooms right now. I was not expecting any of this. So you got to like chill out for me a little bit, and just like slow it down. And because she was saying there's no food on the shelves and everything like that. And it was, that was when that's when we all started to think, okay, this is kind of more serious.
It's probably like March now.
This would have been like March, like 10th or 12th.
Yeah, because March, April, it got serious. I remember I was here China New Year in PP in February, and it was okay. Mm-hmm. So your dad gives you that call, and like, I mean, he doesn't even like warm you up into it.
He didn't even be like, hey, buddy, like I love you. I want to, he was just like, you better book a flight like tomorrow. I was like, there's other things going on that I cannot. I gotta. I'll talk to Mom. Later. I gotta talk to Mom. And then Mom came on the phone, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of high on mushrooms right now, Mom. So I don't really know if I can help you guys right now, but like we could talk tomorrow.
Like, do you want me to save the world? Like, where are we going with this?
Exactly. I was like, Mom, am I in a pool with my friends in Bali, and it's like not a thing over here yet. Like it just wasn't really like on this small island. We actually left that island like 2-3 days later, and then actually 2 days after that, they like locked down that like Gili T. They weren't letting boats go off of it anymore. And we had flights booked for like the 20th. So they were like trying to isolate islands and stuff and make it super serious. We actually kind of got out of Bali at the right time. It was like we had flights booked already for the 20th. And I remember that's when Justin Trudeau, our fearless leader. Yeah, it's when he went online and made the announcement, like, if you are abroad, it's time for you to come home. And that was on like the 16th or 17th, and then we went home the 20th. My dad's like, I'll buy a first class ticket sort of thing. I'm like, Dad, chill. Like, if I get stuck here, I get stuck here. I got 3 more days, just chill, And then we got home fine. We had a quarantine for 2 weeks actually. me and my two best friends in my basement because I live in my parents' house still. They got like a pretty good sized house, so it's not like I'm not really.
You're not like in a condo.
No. My dad's 50, my mom's 49, so they had me when they were younger, and we get along now. Like the cool thing about my parents that I absolutely love is that they will go and hang out with my friends when I'm not in Canada. So like actually when I went to Thailand, it was like this last time I was in Thailand. One of my best friends was in Mexico with my mom and dad with his girlfriend. That's just what they do. Or they'll go riverboat fishing.
They plan this.
Yeah, my dad like my mom always calls like my best friends like her second kids because they're always over at my house, always hanging out. We always don't try to piss them off or, stay up too late, even though we do and make lots of noise downstairs. But at the end of the day, my parents, they know like my best friends are like really cool people, and they actually they were all raised well. You know what I mean? So
you're doing the quarantine in Vancouver in your parents' house. I mean, I can't imagine anyone that when you kind of leave Southeast Asia and you get back home, there's always that feeling of like, fuck, is this it? Like,
yeah, it was weird.
Were the wheels spinning? Because how long have you been in Thailand now?
So that was a month in the Philippines, month in Thailand. So I was I was away for 80 days, 90 days ish. Like I was off work. I was abroad for 80 days. And that was just crazy because you go home and coming from in Bali, it just didn't really seem that big of a deal. And then when we got home, it was like when I went to go back to work after my 2-week quarantine, everyone's like wearing gloves and stuff. And I was like, hey man, I'm gonna go shake my buddy's hand. He's like, dude, get away from me. I was like, what? And we work constructions. These are just boys that they're rough and they're tough. And I don't think they'd be scared of little COVID. And some of them were and some of them weren't. So it was really weird, man. It was weird. But I ended up, so I stayed home. COVID, I loved it, to be honest with you, because, and it sounds kind of stupid to say, and I know lots of people kind of agree, but like it was, maybe out here, it was nice for a bit because I pretty much went home and I saved up all my money, pretty much as much as I could working. I mean, we couldn't do lots in Canada anyways. So I went on, just to like work and save money, and then saved up for the next trip. And I think I went again in 2022.
What year are we in? 23?
2023. No. So what?
23 September.
No, I went 2021. Jeez, even it confuses me.
Was that going for a trip or like, hey, I'm going to make the move here now?
That was the idea, was I'm going to try to kind of put all my chips in one basket, sort of. Not really, because I could always go back home and work my job. I can always go back home and work a good job. I had a car that I paid off, like a brand new car and stuff. So I had like some assets and stuff, and it's not like I lived on my own. I lived with my parents still, and it's not like they were like, oh, you have to pay rent while you're gone. I just I paid small rent anyways. They're really cool with it. And I went home, saved my money, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go and buy a YouTube editing program. Do you know who Lost LeBlanc is?
Yes.
Yeah, so I bought his YouTube editing program, learned how to edit videos slowly but surely. And then after that, like after a while, I just kind of was like, okay, I just got to start building up my bag. I need to get like a proper like camera bag and like a drone and things like that. And slowly built my kit and went off with my friends again, this different group of friends now, 2 of them. And then we went, that's when we came back. That would have been this, it's the same thing. We always go back around January, December. I think that was December 30th. And that was 2021, I think. It's so confusing now because time's flying.
Well, I guess probably 2021 then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yes, 7 months later-ish, whatever. And me and the boys, 10, 7, 8, whatever it is. Bad math. Right?
Are you still here with them now?
No, so they laughed. That's the thing is when we started traveling, I was making videos and learning at the same time then. Because the first time I went to Thailand, I brought actually camera stuff and everything, but I just kind of filmed and never edited. And then when I got home, I would edit these videos that were like a year old. And people were like, why are you posting them now? I'm like, I just had to learn how to edit. I don't want to learn how to edit on my first time backpacking through Southeast Asia because I was really backpacking. Now I live out of a backpack, but I'm staying in hotels and stuff like that. So
what was that conversation that, when you made the decision? And if you want to get detailed there, I mean, you're working construction, you're able to save, you're living at home, but I mean, you got to have that aha moment where I'm like, fuck this, I'm buying YouTube gear, I'm taking that course and I'm moving to Thailand. Can you walk? Do you have like a specific day when that happened? And also, it's a bit long-winded, but piecing together that part of the story of not only when it came to your mind putting it together, but also sitting your parents down and explaining them again this wild idea.
Yeah, so they were always pretty cool with it. They always told me, and this is one thing I sat down with my mom and dad and kind of told. My mom was all for it. As I told my dad, I was like, look, I'm like 20, I guess I would have been like 25 or whatever at the time. And I was like, look, I'm already like at the top of this. I'm not at the top of this construction thing, but like for my age, like I'm doing good. And if I can get here in this many years and be what all these foremans and all these superintendents, they wanted me to be like on their crew. They wanted me. They were like, oh, he's got so much potential. We want him. And I was like, I started to get that weird feeling in life where you freak out and you're like, ooh, like, dude, like, is this all I'm gonna ever be as a construction worker? Like, I'm gonna be at the top in like three to 10 years, or really comfortable, and I'm gonna have like, and I don't have a girlfriend at the time, but like wife and kids and things like that. I was like, I'm not ready for that. Like, I want to go travel, and I want to try YouTube or try something else. And like, if I need to just do it, I'm gonna do it. And at least if if it's that cliche saying where it's like, if you go out there and if you don't try, you'll regret never failing or attempting or whatever. Like, you're gonna regret it forever. So yeah, it was like me and my friends booked a ticket. We saved up, we booked the ticket. But I told my parents, I said, I'm going for, I don't know. I'm just gonna go until my money runs out.
One-way flight.
One-way flight. And I told my mom and dad that I was like, I don't know when I'm coming back. It could be like in a year, it could be 2, it could be in when I could come back with my 2 friends. I don't know. And they were like, that's cool. Do your thing. We're rooting for you. But at the time, I didn't have like any YouTube videos, or I had some, but they were like garbage. And so I went and I traveled with my 2 friends. Parents, they sent me off. It was actually kind of emotional because I made a video of me like leaving, and my dad's a pretty tough guy, but like he even's like, give me a hug before like I tear up sort of thing, and sends you off to the airport like right after when COVID's still kind of a thing. Like, this is when you had to go get PCR tested when you landed in Thailand and everything. And we did get COVID actually, which is another, I'll get into that in a second. But it was just crazy to hug your parents and like say goodbye and not knowing. But I already like knew Thailand kind of okay. I was there for a month. I mean, that's noob talk still for sure. But I had like a pretty good idea of where I wanted to go. And with my 2 new friends who've never been to Thailand, I was like, I'm going to show you guys what I know. And then if you guys have enough money, you keep coming with me. But at some point, I need to find time in the day to like film our stuff and try to make videos. And we weren't on the same page sometimes, because I was the guy who wanted to go and make videos. Go make these videos, or go and at least record stuff. And I'll be like, wait a sec, guys, I want to take a B-roll shot, or I want to try to do this, or I want to do that. And they were like, come on. And they just weren't on the same page. So it really like, I wasn't motivated to make the videos with them, and I wasn't very comfortable either, because when you first have your best friends that you've known for your entire life, and you got to start pretending like you're a vlogger, you get this weird feeling. You know what I mean? It's a weird feeling where they're like, he's trying to act different than he normally is. And then they know how I normally is, or know how I normally would be. And it was just weirder. And even some of my friends back home, they say, man, I have a tough time watching your videos, just because like we know how you are when we're just sitting there like just bros. And it's like, you turn the camera on, you don't really change a lot, but you do have to put on a bit more of a, I don't know how to explain that, but like
I think put it's because you're talking to a new person, the audience, and everybody's new. So even like, for example, if you're out at a restaurant, or if you're just out and about at a grocery store, that's how you would talk to someone new. If they came up to you, how are you going to go?
That's what I mean.
You're not going to be like, yo, what's up? They're going to be like, I don't fucking know you. I think that's a lot of it. I get it too on the podcast. Even sometimes when I'm doing intros and stuff, it's because you're talking to almost like you feel like you don't know the people. Yeah. And it's not an act. It's just, I can't explain it. It's like you become a bit awkward. That's what's cool about the podcast, because then eventually 20, 30 minutes, you kind of settle in.
I know. Right now I can feel it.
You forget the cameras are on. You're like, all right, whatever. No one's watching anyways. But
I think hearing my own voice makes it like almost worse a little bit, just because I'm like, I can hear like how my voice sounds and everything. But it's because for me, like, if I make a YouTube video and I do whatever, I have to go back and edit it later. Or this is just like kind of going right now. Yeah. And I do lots of live streams nowadays, and I know like live streamers, a lot of them have bad rep, but I try to always not piss people off when I live stream. And I have pissed a few people off, but I can't hear my own voice when I'm doing it. You know what I
You're
mean?
not wearing headphones?
No, like I'll go like IRL live stream.
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
yeah, we'll get into that later. But
Yeah, the headphones, they were weird at first, and now I don't notice them.
yeah, no, this is cool. It's actually pretty cool. I kind of like this.
So you
anyways,
came to Thailand at this point. Now we're kind of we're September 2023. You're kind of starting at the beginning of 2022, give or take. So have you been here for like pretty much full time for a year?
No, so how it worked is 2021 when I came here with my other two friends. So this is my second time back in Thailand. And my two friends, this is when COVID was still fresh. And then, yeah, so like I said, we just weren't on the same page with like me wanting to do YouTube. And I told them like, this is my plan. And I see my money, like, you know, I'm partying all the time. My bank account's going down. And I haven't even been monetized on YouTube yet. I have still 300 subscribers. And I'm like, you know, I just knew as soon as they left, I would be able to like lock in a little bit more. And it sounded kind of screwed up to say, but I know they knew that as well. Afterwards, looking back on it, that's totally what it was. As soon as I was not with my best friends from back home when I was on my own, and I was like, hey, I have all the time in the day here to go and make a YouTube video. My plan was, because I met other friends and stuff, right? Obviously met other people. And I was like, guys, I'm sorry, I got to ditch you. I want to go to Patong because I made one video in Hua Hin, however you say it. And I just hinted at nightlife a little bit, just a little bit. It was like kind of like a day thing. And then it was like, what is Hua Hin like now? And I hinted at the nightlife. And I didn't know that Hua Hin had this really crazy like girl bar scene. So this was all new to me too. And we went and checked it out. And like, this is my first time really even like, you know, not being in a bar scene because I was hanging out with two friends for 2 months before I started doing all this. We kind of got to see a little bit of it. But like going, hey, you know what? Like, let's try and just make the thumbnail look kind of nightlife-y. And then right away, this video started getting traction, like right away. It was the first video I had like made that kind of like actually got like, I think now it's probably got like 5, 6, 7,000 views. But at the time I maybe had like 400 subscribers. So I was like, okay, I'm onto something here. And then my plan was I started going on, you know, like search engine optimization kind of stuff. And I started like looking up stuff. And one of the biggest things at the time was just like Patong nightlife or Phuket nightlife or Bangkok or Pattaya or whatever. And that's where I kind of like had this idea. I was like, I'm going to Patong. I started my trip there with my friends. My friends are gone now. So I was like, I'm going back to Patong. I already know some people there. It's going to make me feel kind of more comfortable. And then from there, I'm just going to try to make some YouTube videos. And I remember my first video, sorry, I'm burping a little bit here. My first video in Patong was, Patong, Bangla Road, what it's like now. And it got like 12, 13,000 views. But like the first 10,000 views came in like the first week. And boom, within 3 videos, I was at 1,000 subscribers, like right away. So right when I kind of found my niche, which was nightlife, it was right on track right away. But then people kind of tell you, and this is actually something that's cool that other YouTubers like Keys One has told me, like this is later when I had like 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. Right now I only have 6, by the way. I'm not a big YouTuber. Don't claim to be, but at the time, I was kind of getting, some videos were getting demonetized, right? Because a lot of nightlife stuff. And I wasn't really sure how to work around that or what to do, but I was getting the views, I was getting the subscribers. And I did this thing called Buy Me a Coffee. And what I did, this is how I made actually a lot of money in my first little bit, where I actually had like 2 months where I like broke even. 1 month I actually kind of made a little bit of money because every video would get demonetized for a little while. Some of them wouldn't, most of them would. So what I pretty much did is I did Buy Me a Coffee thing. You know, have you heard of it?
Yeah.
It's like a donation thing, obviously, right? So, and so I would go and I promoted it one time. Some people called me an e-bagger, and then some people were like, no, it's a great idea. And what it wasn't buy me a coffee like me or anything. It was buy these girls that work at the bar, buy them a lady drink, and I'll do it for you in the video. So like, I'll take just like a small percentage of it or pretty much break even because I had to go buy my own beers and, you know, get there and stuff like that. So yeah, I would go to these bars and people would be like, oh, go buy this specific girl at this bar a drink. And then I would go in there and like buy some lady, some bar girl a drink. And I'll be like, hey, look, I actually got money sent to me by this guy. He said he knows you. And I'd maybe show them a picture and whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. And I was like, yeah, I do like YouTube videos, and he wants me to buy you a drink. I was like, can I make a YouTube video here? She's like, yeah, for sure. So I usually would go and just try to like talk to, always try to like talk to the bar owner or get in with the girls first. Like try to always just get in with the girl. I obviously cared about other foreigners around, but I would always pick bars that were like, if it was packed with foreigners, I wouldn't want to go to that bar, because I wanted to go find a bar that wanted my business. And then I made these connections with tons of bar owners all across Patong easily, even in Bangkok now, Pattaya now. And they let me come film at their bars, which is kind of sometimes a taboo thing here in Thailand, which like it is in Bangkok. But in Phuket, it's a little more chill. And that's how I kind of started my YouTube kind of journey. But I made a lot of money off that buy me a coffee thing and ring the bell. So ring the bell means, you can 1,000 baht, you can ring the bell and at any bar. So then people who just hadn't been able to come back to Thailand, they were like, here, I'll give this kid, $40 or whatever it is, 1,000 baht, and he'll go and take a video of it. And I did it. And then it started gaining traction. And yeah.
Is this still kind of the flow and the bread and butter of what you're following? Or are you trying to change it up a bit and be?
It's kind of switched a little bit. So I made in that the beginning, that was the bread and butter. And then some people would come on there and comment. I had some people say, you can't do the same thing all the time. Some people were like, no, keep doing it. I want to see your nightlife videos are the best. I tried to make a few beach videos. Some of them did well. I actually did one at Kamala Beach. I think it has like 17,000 views. And that's when I had like 1,000 subscribers. So some of them did well, but the nightlife is it's nightlife that's my bread and butter. It doesn't need to necessarily be in the bar scene or in the red light district. It doesn't need to be. I have one video, Tipsy Tubing. It's got 24,000 views. I have one video on like the Bangla boat party thing. So it was like kind of nightlife, kind of daytime, but it was just an awesome video where I bring my drone, and the guy pretty much just said, he's like, you can come on for free if you make a video. I was like, I'm going to make a dope ass video, man. Don't worry. And it's one of my favorite videos I've ever made, which is me and my friends partying, and they get to see like my life through the lens. It's not all just the debauchery stuff but I know lots of people who come to Thailand, they want to see that as well.
Sometimes these algorithms in different social media channels, like we were discussing, I was explaining with TikTok, our TikTok account for the podcast Reels, it really tries to push food and location. If we're talking about Thai food or different places to go, and it will boost those. I can guarantee if I do something about food, if I talk about Pad Thai and how we loved it and I make that into a reel, easily 60,000 views on TikTok. Yeah. When you first started YouTube, you kind of, got that endorphin rush of creating this nightlife scene, and all of a sudden that kind of dictated your content. Was that your initial intention, or did you have like a different plan of the channel from the beginning?
I did. So at the very beginning, my plan was to be like Las LeBlanc. Like on my phone today, it actually still has like a list of things, and one of them was like become like the best editor, because if you're just the best editor, I mean, people are going to watch your stuff. If you just become a good vlogger and a good editor, I mean, you would think they got to come rolling in. But the reality is become like a vlogger nowadays, unless you have something special about it, it's so tough. Like, and this is no discredit to any YouTubers, but if like this, for example, Keys One, he did a really good job at taking a huge risk coming to Thailand when COVID was like heavy. And I think it definitely helped get his channel off the ground, right? Whereas now, if you want to come here and just be like a solo YouTuber and just YouTube about just random things or random things about Thailand, it's hard to stand out of the crowd. I know some other YouTubers who came here, and it was like Floyd and what's her name? There's so Mancy many. Or something, like I forget her name, but I think they were Canadian as well, or at least one. I think she is, or maybe they both are. Floyd and something, and their channel blew up. But I think one of the huge factors is that she's really pretty and she's in every thumbnail.
Yeah,
and they do a really good job at seeing things at like just first time, and they just roll through it. So yeah, at the beginning, I wanted to kind of do that as well. I kind of wanted to just be like a YouTuber where I would go with my friends and make vlogs and travel and actually see things like for the first time. But then after a while, I was like, well, I actually know Thailand pretty well now. How can I be different from because I knew nightlife was a hot topic. How can I be different than all these other nightlife YouTubers when all they do is they walk around with a camera and they just kind of like point it at the girls? I was like, I'm gonna make it into a vlog. I'm gonna go and hold the camera in front of my face. That way, in case any like Thai gangs want to come beat me up, my face is all over the internet. You know what I mean? Just in case. And we're gonna go and make these into like a vlog that kind of walks the fine line of monetization and not. And then over a while, this is what actually I met Keys One and Just Dan or Dan the Man and stuff like that. And they told me like, hey, just be careful sort of thing. And I was like, okay. And when I left Thailand and came back, because I went home for a few months over Christmas, this is after I've been in Thailand for now a year on my own. That's when I kind of, I just kind of dialed back my content a little bit, like, you know, made my nightlife videos. And this is me learning how the, what do you call it? To get your video monetized, right? The advertisement friendly guidelines. To get on their good pages, you just have to make a YouTube video that isn't just about girls. If you make it about like, oh, I'm going down the walking street tonight in Pattaya, and I'm gonna go do this, 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 and this, and have a little bit of girls here, and there, but I'm gonna make this about like me experiencing the Pattaya nightlife, then it's okay. But as soon as you make the video just all about girls, they're gonna demonetize your video. So at the beginning, I would go and have girls, you know, like I'd go into Pink Paradise. I don't know if you know, Pink Paradise in Patong is a crazy place, but they let you film in there. So I was in there like filming, and girls were like twerking and shaking their ass and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, and it would get lots of views and tons of comments and tons of likes, but I wouldn't make any money.
Because it gets demonetized.
It gets demonetized. And yeah, so like, I met other YouTubers and like Keys and Dan, and they just said, you know, just be careful. And then I just kind of dialed it down a little bit, made sure the if it was a nightlife video, it had a more of a purpose rather than just girls. And then they all started getting monetized, and it just started working. And now a big thing I'm into nowadays is actually streaming. So everything I've done nightlife wise for like a video and for a vlog, it's almost like I'm kind of redoing my lap around Thailand, but with live. Because
streaming on YouTube or Twitch?
YouTube and Kick. The only reason why because I can like do it multi with my phone. I could just go right with my phone to 2 different platforms, which is really cool. But it's just, I'll honestly say it, way more money.
Just streaming.
Way more money.
How does the revenue work on streaming? Like, where's it coming in?
So it's just donations.
Donations.
And I get tons of them.
Okay. Yeah, I was on Tim Newton. You know Tim Newton? The Tiger?
I don't, but I do, but I don't.
I mean, you know who he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went on his show once. He does a Saturday morning show, and yeah, when I sat there with him, he must have made almost $1,000 on all he's doing is like pulling up the news and reading it live on a Saturday morning, and then like I was there answering some questions.
Yeah.
And that was just him streaming Saturday morning, like live with Tim Saturday morning streaming. Because what I think happens is I think a part of it might turn into a pissing contest, where meaning like the audience, everyone sees the donation. It's like, oh, thanks Jerry for $500. Who's gonna fucking one up Jerry? Let's go.
That's what it is a little bit.
And then other people are watching like, oh yeah, well I'm better than Jerry. You're 6. So I saw that happening with Tim, and I'm like, shit, Tim, you get paid. He's like, yeah, they just keep, you know, they start wanting to be the bigger swinging dick on the chat room.
Well, what it is a lot of them want to. And I just started streaming more actually in the last, I'd say 6 months. Because one time I just turned on the stream and I was like, man, I don't have to edit this. I get more money from this. And it's just like one shot, anything happens, the world's going to see it. And it's just this risk part where it's fun. And I never try to, like I say, I always try to like go up to, if I go to a bar or something. And like I've been told this, like you can't film in Bangkok. And I was like, bet. Like, I was like, I'm going to do it, because you have to just approach it in a different way. You just have to go talk to the boss right away. Put the camera down. Don't walk in there with the camera on people's face. Don't do that. And just go talk to the boss. Say, hey, do you got any cute girls? I'll buy them some drinks, because I know my audience is going to buy them drinks, because that's kind of what happens. And usually there's always a girl in there, or they'll say, no, sorry, we don't want any cameras in here. And then I just go, oh, no problem. Let's go to the next place. Usually it's their loss, because, and it sounds cocky to say, but I've spent anywhere up to like in 2-3 hours, 12,000 baht in a bar.
And it's people paying through the live stream.
Yeah.
How does that work on like, you're getting that cash later, right? I mean, it's not like instant.
Exactly.
So do you have to, I mean, it's no different than, let's say, selling products, right?
Yeah. I do
if I only have, again, okay, let's say going into the bar, if you only have 10,000 baht and you get 50,000 baht, I mean, you got to run over the bank and take more cash.
I've had to do it plenty of times. Yeah, actually. And I just do a little bad math, because if you know anything about like the YouTube percentages, right? Like they take 30% of a donation.
Oh, wow.
They take 30%. So sometimes I'll be sitting there and someone will send me like $50 and like buy a round of drinks for the girls. I can kind of look at that and go like, okay, $50 US, convert to Canadian, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that should be fine. That should cover it, and I should be able to pocket some. So that's all cool. And they're cool with that. They know, like, I'm not going to go and, do this, because sometimes I'll stream for 8-12 hours straight. They know I'm not going to go and do this without pocketing some money. I got to pocket some money. That's the whole point of this. I'm giving them entertainment, so I have to, make some money at the same time. And it's sometimes I remember in one stream, it was like probably like $600-700. That's what I had. And like, it was about a 2-3 hour span. And I only had to spend like $300. So I pocketed like $300-400. And then I went, and just because of that though, like I went, and one of the girls there was really cool with the stream and everything. This bar in Pattaya was actually really cool with the stream. They had their own live stream. And the mama son comes over to me. She's like, how many people you got watching? I was like, I got like 84 right now. She's like, you got like twice and 3 times as much as we do. And they have their own live stream going in there too.
They just don't know how to market it.
They don't know how to market it, but it's also like, I don't just sit there and like point the camera at the girls. I sit there, I put the camera there, and like, I will talk to them and hang out with them and just like shoot the shit with them. And like, just like a friendly way. Like, because I have a girlfriend. So this whole like bar girl thing, and this might be something that you want to talk about too, because I know and I'm going to send my audience to come watch this, and they love to hear about this too. Yeah. But yeah, so it's fun because I'll put the camera there, do live stream, and guys will like buy girls drinks through the stream pretty much.
So as you're coming over here and you're getting it started before you're able to now monetize it, where you're making money every month, did you ever have that budget like, okay, if I'm not making money by this time, I got to go home? And it's more a question of like, now are you in a position to say, yeah, I can do this for another year? Or what's your long-term plan? Like, again, you're 27, but I mean, you're not going to be doing it at 47.
Exactly. No, and I know that too. And it's not good for my health either, because like I'll go out and people think like, I remember I did this 24-hour live stream, which is crazy, but I did 24-hour live stream like 2 weeks ago. And I had some people message me and they're like, dude, like, you don't need to do that for us. Like, chill. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, that was like, I feel like as a YouTuber streamer, that was like a feat. Like, that was a challenge that I conquered, because like I was just drinking the whole time. Like, when the sun came up, and then all of a sudden the sun was starting to go down again, and I'm still streaming. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Like, I like fell asleep almost while I was streaming, and I like snapped out of it. I'm like, where the heck? I'm like, oh my God, I got blacked out, I think, for a minute. And I was like, yo, chat. I was like, what did I do? They're like, you just zoned out for like 5 minutes. And I was like, I didn't do anything stupid. Like, no, you just like spaced out. I was like, okay, someone send me $50 right now and I'll go get a tattoo. And that's how I got this tattoo in my leg. Just like, it got infected and everything. Oh. It was just stupid. It was stupid, but it was fun. And but to answer your question, pretty much I sold my car. Did really good, because the whole thing with COVID, it made it so I bought my car. I'll say the real number. I bought my car for like 33 grand Canadian 5 years ago, and I sold it for like 23 grand or 24 grand back to the dealership.
It's like $7 US on the conversion.
Yeah, no, but like it was really good though. Like but
that was enough to kind of roll you into Thailand and kind of set you up with a budget. But I'm sure if people haven't been to Bangla, that amount of money, let's see if 5 grand US. If you're in Bangla every night, that is going to go so fast.
Yeah. So for me, it was always like, if I go out and make a video, if I go out and I do a live stream, my audience is typically paying for my beers, they're paying for all the drinks I have to buy. So whenever I actually go make nightlife, and that's the coolest thing about me doing nightlife videos, is that I actually never really pay for my nights out for the most part. When I go out on my own, obviously, like just without the camera and stuff like that, then I'm obviously paying. But like when I go, like people don't realize when I go out on my own, or if I go with my friends, I either go balls to the wall, or I just have like 5 or 6 beers and like that's it. Like I'm not buying girls lady drinks. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just
how many nights were you going out like at the beginning? Are you doing like 7 nights a week?
No, not at all. Because like when I would do videos, I would do like 1 or 2 videos a week, or a week, like a video like a week and a half, whatever. But like I would make sure I go out and drink in that video, on that nightlife video. And sometimes it's not a nightlife video, so I don't have to, I just have 2 beers at Kamala Beach or whatever. And then when I started streaming, I'd only stream, like I'd make like a video, maybe make a YouTube short. I'm pretty bad with it. Like I need to do more shorts. But then I'd go and do a live stream. And I start off with just 1 day a week, which is Sunday. And now it's kind of just more whatever day works. If my buddy's like, hey, we're doing something tonight. I'm like, okay, do you mind if I bring the camera out, or should I not tonight? It just depends on my mood and how crazy I want to get. Because if I know I'm going to live stream, like I'll purposely like
prepare for it a bit.
Prepare for it a little bit. Like I want to go to the gym and hydrate beforehand.
You're not like the times you're going out and creating the content. Are there other nights where you're just out?
Yeah, all the time.
So how often were you how often are you going out?
For example, like the last 2 months I've been in Phuket. I would maybe go out. It depends week to week, really. There's some weeks I just won't go out at all for a whole week. They're like, dude, we miss you. And I'm like, chill, man. Like, I just want to like play basketball for a few days and like chill and go to the gym or whatever and try to, because I used to be, way more fit before I ever came to Thailand. And then it's like this constant battle of drinking and trying to get back into shape. But yeah, maybe there's some weeks where I go out 3 or 4 times, and there's some weeks where I go out none at all. So it kind of depends. Sometimes if I have a really good stream on like Friday, it's like, okay, I'll take one day off. I'll go play basketball, or I'll do something. And then Sunday, I'm actually really looking forward to streaming, because like it's the same people, right? Like, and they build onto that. The same group of people. Most time I do a stream, it's the same names that pop up, and I remember the names and the guys. There's some guys, I know, for example, there's one guy, and I won't say his name, but he's just for example, he told, like, this is the kind of person I let message me on Instagram, and we'll talk, and I'm actually looking forward to meeting these people in November in Pattaya. They said they're going to Pattaya in November. I was like, I'll make sure I'm there. I got to meet you guys. The one guy, he told me he sent me over $4,000 to $6,000 US just for donations in the last, I don't know, 7-8 months or whatever. He told me, because he's just like, it was almost a joke between him and one other person. I'm like, you guys are the top 2 donators. He messaged me. He's like, bro, I can check my bank statements. I'm the number one.
How old
donator.
Is the
guy? He's like 35, 36.
And why is he putting so much into donations?
He just, this is the big thing, and it's a lot of nightlife YouTubers in Thailand. They just, some of them do it so disrespectfully, and like they just go out and they just like are disrespectful to the girls. They don't ask people for permission to film, and they like they just piss off other people. And like whenever I go make a nightlife video, I never want to piss off other people. I want to make sure the girls are okay with it. That's always like a thing I want to do. I always want to make sure of that.
What other YouTubers are doing that?
I could start naming them.
Yeah, let's name them. Let's call them out.
I can. Dr. Bray, those guys, I think if they watch it, whatever, guys. But they just are so disrespectful.
They're in Phuket or
No, they're in like Bangkok, I think, right now.
And they're just like, super aggressive.
Yeah. Do you know who Roberto versus the World is?
Honestly, like, I work so much, I don't even watch YouTube.
Okay, well, this guy he came into Thailand. He took it by storm. He went from 40,000 subscribers. The time he left, 100,000. But at the beginning, I was like, man, I don't know about these guys' videos. Like, I know he gets most of them demonetized, but like just worried about what the Thai laws were and if he was going to get in trouble at all. He never did. But he's in Colombia now, or Brazil, and he's almost at 200,000 subscribers. He did it very, very well. But in the same breath, it was kind of like, damn, he's pushing the boundaries a little too hard. But he got away with it. He made hilarious content. People weren't sure at first if he was being disrespectful or if he wasn't. Later, you kind of realize it was actually just more of a character he was playing, and his content, and he's blown up, and it's awesome.
I guess he can just kind of copy and paste and get out before he gets in trouble and go to the next prostitution hole.
But he's always said about how much he loved Thailand. He wants to come back. And as long as he hasn't pissed off some girls or put them in the video in a way that, girls nowadays, if they wanted to, if they want to be in a video, they can go take legal action, I think, right?
The problem isn't the girls. And I won't names I'll tell you after of a YouTuber where you actually face problems. The problem will be is if you fuck with a girl and then that girl gets a boyfriend 6 months later and she shows her juice jacked up muscle factory boyfriend that's from fucking Essex that's dating her in Pattaya and he's gonna message you and be like, you have 8 seconds to take that down or I'm flying to Patong to knock the shit out of you. And again living in Thailand, it's still the Wild West here.
Oh, yeah.
So I've heard those stories where it's the girls won't do much, but eventually they're going to get a boyfriend and they just have to show it to them. And now the laws coming into play and there's not much you can do there.
So for me, I've never been worried about that ever, because I just think, man, if some guy's going to ruin his Thailand vacation or get caught up in with all the bar girl stuff, and then like actually like tell this girl to go and
But
do that. Like, I
if
think that's just crazy talk. I
would
think that guy,
if it happened,
yeah,
like in some guy, like I'm assuming if they hit you up, they're probably nice at first. Hey man, I saw the video. I'm dating her now. We don't like it.
I've never had that yet.
If that happened,
Never.
would you take it down?
No, fuck no.
Would you be like fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck you, buddy. Honestly, I would. I'd be like, fuck you. So I've had one guy message me, and he was just in one of my videos, and he was playing guitar, doing a guitar solo. He's like, hey, can you just blur my face? And I was like, I got you. He just said he was scrolling through Pattaya videos. He saw me with the camera front. Like, it's not like I was hiding it from him. I was just doing a guitar solo, so I thought it was fine. And he's like, can you blur it? I was like, yeah, I actually can. On YouTube, you can go back.
You can do it after.
You can do it after.
That's good, yeah.
As long as the video isn't like, isn't a live stream. And then I remember I had like one girl message me, and I never replied back to her, but in Pattaya, where like she knew I was live streaming. And then after, she's like, hey, I have some problems now because you're live streaming. Can you take me out of it? And I was like, no, because like I tell you beforehand what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. And if I tell you beforehand, it's like, that's the law. Like, if you know what I'm doing, or if another law in Thailand is if you're just vlogging and there's people get behind you, some people like say like, you know, like that's fair use apparently. Like, so if I'm just vlogging and I'm not trying to film somebody and they're just happen to be in the background, apparently that's all good to go. I've made sure, I've looked over the Thai laws and tried to make sure I'm following them all good, because you never know, right?
But if that person, you caught them and they tap you on the shoulder and say blur it out, you can do that in post.
Yeah, you can do that in post.
And if you don't, you get in shit?
No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you are out in public. You know what I mean? Like, right. There's cameras everywhere. I think people that just do that, they get a little sensitive and they get a little weird about it. But I've had a few times where I go out with someone and they're like a subscriber, but they're like, hey man, can you make sure I'm not in the video? I'm like, bro, don't worry. I'm really good. If you tell me beforehand, I'm gonna make sure that camera's everywhere but your face. I'm gonna make sure it's above you, zoomed in past you, and I'll make sure in post like you're blurred out. But if someone comes up to me and is like, hey man, I had this happen in actually Koh Lanta. I was doing a bar scene video because Koh Lanta has such a small bar scene. I was like, let's go explore it, because these girls are a little bit on the older side, a little bit, and they were so pumped. Like, they didn't care that I had a camera. They didn't have this business since COVID, so they were like, bring it on in. Like, come on. I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. And they were wild and you know, just fun. And this one guy was obviously there, you know, doing some stuff he shouldn't be doing. And he saw me with the camera and he's like, hey buddy, like fucking put your camera where I'll fucking knock you out or whatever. And I was like, I told him, I did tell him nicely. I said, hey man, I've already asked all these girls. I didn't mean to get you in it. Like, don't worry, this isn't live. Like, I got you. Like, I can make sure, you know, we can make sure you're not in the video. And he just like, he took my kindness for, what's that saying?
Weakness?
Yeah, and he took my kindness for weakness. And then I was just like, and he came at me one more time, like kind of like got closer. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I'm over here buying all these girls lady drinks. They're in my video willingly, having a good time. And then I turned off my camera and I said, okay, man, like we can do this. I just got up because I was going to fight this guy. I'm drunk. And then you're starting to disrespect me. And I don't know, my dad he's always raised you to never be like, to back down in situations like that. You just don't. There's a lot of men, you shouldn't. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean?
We're Canadian. We're nice until we're not.
We're nice until we're not. We're super nice until we're not. And then I was just like, dude, and I stood up right away, and you could tell he was like, oh, fuck it, never mind. Just stood up. He was like, oh, fuck, this guy's a lot bigger. Because, you know, I was sitting down, and all of a sudden he's like, oh. And the girls actually let me keep filming, and then they, like, grabbed him and, like, kind of turned him off to the side, like, fuck you. This guy's spending more money. I'm a customer right now with a 2,000 baht bill. What do you got? And that's kind of what it comes to sometimes with these girls too, is they're like, you know, screw this guy. Like, this guy's causing a problem. This guy's just a nice guy with a camera. He's asked all the girls, and there's one phalang there that's getting mad. It's like, okay. So yeah, I pretty much put him in the video and didn't blur his face because I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
like,
you,
what are you gonna do? If
you're gonna make a reel out of this too. Fuck you.
If you're gonna ask me nicely,
and I'm gonna B-roll him in there.
Do it.
Send me that
video.
Do it.
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. It's got like 9,000 views.
Send me that video. I'm gonna B-roll this and fuck you, bud.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt about it. Because if anyone ever approaches me nicely, I'm like, for sure, don't worry. And usually I'll ask other people, hey, I'm gonna do this clip. Do you guys care if you're all in it? I met the same night. Met a bunch of really cool people from like Germany and they were like the Netherlands and stuff. And they're all super cool. And they're like, yeah, I'll get in your video. And I like did a big group shot. And you know, you just gotta like talk your way through it because you're doing nightlife content and you're drunk and they're drunk. Sometimes you're just gonna come across dumb people, but it's only ever happened 3 times. Actually, it happened one time in my stream like last week where some girl like got into like Like I was just filming me and my friend talking like this, and then she went and sat like there, and then she's like, "You can't film me." I'm like, "Whoa." I was like, "I was just filming here before you sat down." I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Sorry," and then she started freaking out and like threw a coffee at me and tried to bottle our friend. This is the first time we've ever had anything
Was
bad.
she Thai?
She was Thai.
Okay.
She's like, "You can't film in Thailand." I was like, "I'm filming you now because you're threatening us. It's the only reason." Like, that's the only reason. I didn't mean to piss you off at all. So, yeah, I don't know. It's nightlife content has its ups and downs, and the streaming is fun, to say the least, because it's kind of like the Wild West shows itself a little bit sometimes. And
I think people like that probably the streaming side because you don't know what's around the next corner and you're kind of just giving it a watch, especially in Thailand. I want to jump into some of the personal stuff. You said you're with your girlfriend here and how that came together and those reactions. I get lost on time. How long have we been filming? I try to keep it under an hour now.
Yeah.
51? Okay.
Damn, we've been rolling.
Man, they're so
and
easy.
they go quick, don't they?
They go so fast. Okay, so we'll try to wrap it up in 10 minutes. It's pretty much, and I keep repeating this, but just the guests don't, the audience is tired of hearing it, but the guests probably don't understand. We just found out like we would do 2 hours and then it's just you're not getting the right retention. And to be honest, they do get a bit long. I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to watch this. And then most of the people live in Thailand, so we're like, we'll just do another one and go from there. Ideally I want them under 40 minutes, but it's almost impossible. I always try. And now I'm just trying to hit it under an hour. But before we wrap it up, and probably more questions for your audience that will be watching, which will be the majority of the views. You never know. Sometimes we get crazy hits like,
oh, I gotta ask you something. I do gotta ask you something. And I know, don't go on too long because I know we're out of time.
That's okay.
But how did you, for anyone who doesn't know, Brendan here, you've had Zhang Wei Li on your podcast and Prosak.
Yuri Prohaska.
Sorry, I tough time saying his name. But they're UFC champions, or one was, but Wei Li is currently the flyweight or strawweight.
She's
featherweight, champion.
I think she's strawweight champion.
Yeah, of the freaking world. And you've had her on your podcast.
Yeah.
And you've had him on your podcast. So I got to ask you, man, what kind of connections do you have in Thailand?
Because of Bang Tao, Muay Thai, and MMA. I kind of train there. I do the hit in the morning. The fast story with Zhang Wei Li was because I lived in China, so I speak good enough Chinese. And that's cool. Her English wasn't really good when she first came like a year and a half ago. And what would happen in the hit classes, because she's new to the classes or new to the environment, so obviously she's not used to what the class is going to be. Over time, she's going to get used to it. So I was translating for her in the classes and like explaining what they want to do. And then we kind of just became like gym buddies. I'm like I'm not super close, but like when I go to the gym and they're there, like I'm chatting up all her training partners in Chinese, chatting up her head coach, Sai, and
go say hi and everything.
Like,
we'll shoot the shit.
They'll hit me up. They'll be like, hey, they'll ask me like in Chinese questions, and like I can figure it out most of the time. Like they borrowed one of these tripods. Like the coach comes up, he's like, hey man, you got the studio. Can I borrow the tripod tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So like now we have that kind of relationship.
That's cool.
I should have brought her on before the last fight. I was too busy and I forgot to ask. I'm sure if I asked her, it's not a problem.
Because like I don't even think Joe Rogan's ever had her on sort of thing. You know what I mean?
So
like that's pretty sweet.
I brought a friend on that he's Canadian, but he lived in China 20 years. So I got him to translate.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to do the full one in Chinese, but we did our best and did subtitles.
Yeah.
For Yuri Prohaska, and he was just here. He just left again. He was actually going to come on again. All I had to do was ask.
Yeah.
And I got dengue, but I wasn't sure if it was COVID, and he was training here.
Okay.
So then I took like a week off the gym, and then he was gone. But the first time I got him, what I did is I'm a bit crafty. I saw his coaches were with him, and I know his coaches, they don't have a lot of followers. So I DM'd the coach, and I noticed that the coach played hockey. So I'm like, oh, hey, bud, I'm doing this podcast thing. Hey, you play hockey. If you ever want to play, there's stuff in Bangkok. So I connected on the hockey level, and right away the door just opened.
That's cool.
I'm like, I'm doing this. It's not big, but literally it's 2 minutes from the gym.
Yeah.
could he jump on the podcast? And right away he's like, yeah, tomorrow just meet us at the gym. You can talk to Yuri for
That's cool.
10 minutes. So I had a little lunch with Yuri, explained what I wanted to do, explained the mushroom stuff, and he's like, I'm fucking in.
How did you not fanboy sitting? Like, are you an MMA guy? Because I love it.
I'm a huge MMA guy.
I would have fanboyed hard a little bit.
After being at the gym, there's so many faces there, like Volkanovski, Tai Tuivasa, Brad Riddell.
He went up there.
Kelvin Gastelum's there right now. Like,
Really?
There's so many faces. I'm going to try to get Kelvin. I just haven't reached out. He's here for another month. He extended.
Joanna Young Jacek, I know. Usually.
I haven't seen her here. Who else was here? There's a lot of people that
Yeah.
come and go. So now it's kind of like you get used to it. And like initially at first you were like, oh, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Meet like Volkanovski or something. That'd be so cool, right?
Well, he's an owner of the gym, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's the big owner of that gym. So
that's sweet.
because the owners there, Woody and Frank.
Yeah.
Frank Hickman's one of the owners as well. He's Israel Adesanya at Israel Izzy's wrestling coach. Frank's Volk's wrestling coach. Woody was on The Ultimate Fighter with Frank for the Ultimate Fighter with Volk and Brian Ortega. So like they're like brothers.
Yeah.
Because Volk used to train since like 2010 at Tiger.
Okay.
So that's how they all, and that's where they originally were trained, and they came over here. So eventually, like these names will come through.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. You get to meet them, and like what's cool about like the champions, like you know why they're champion. Like when Prohaska was there, like the guy's like 6'4" and 0% body fat, and like I felt like a child. Like I shook his hand, and it was just like boom, and like his hand is just like black from whatever kettlebell he's smashing around, and like just calluses. He's just like, hello. I'm like, I'm a child.
Yeah,
like you
it's like
literally
a warrior of a man from.
Dude, he is, and like when you watch him train, at the gym, like he has this weird energy. I can't like you go. There's a reason why and same with Zhang Weili, and you see him, you're like that. There's a reason why he's a champion. Like he comes in so focused. Like nothing distracts him. He'll go. He's like meditating by an ice bath and then jumping. No one else is doing that. Mm-hmm. Only the champions. Like Zhang Weili, when you go in the gym, like she is kicking pads so hard that you think a man's doing it.
Yeah.
So when they're in the gym and then you leave, you see like, and then you watch. It's nothing against the other. Like people are so young in their career. Like you're like, oh. That's the difference. Like, that's why these people
they're training because they want to train the exact same they want to train in a fight, right?
It's crazy, but it's cool to watch them. Like, I'll talk to Yuri, and I'd just be like, so like your diet, like like me, my diet can fall off for a week, and they give you a death. Like Yuri gave me a death stare. He's like, I have a track and a vision with he basically said, what do you mean food coming in here? He's like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
He gave me a look like that's not even an option.
Yeah.
I'm like. Okay.
We need to win. We have a training camp. We cannot.
But like
off.
He didn't say like, I think about it sometimes. Yeah. He's like, no. He's like, I'm like an ice cream. He's like, I don't even know what that means. He's like, it just, and you're just like,
okay,
fucking. So it's their discipline.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's why I'm selling mushrooms in a podcast. and
that's why you're a UFC champion.
Yeah. So I get it. And I get it. I'm like, I don't think I could be that.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's that story. We'll keep going. I'll do another 10. I can go an hour 10. I to be honest, I don't even care either. I'll double check. We have someone else coming up here for 1:30.
What about Chris Parker?
Chris, yeah, I've had Chris on.
Yeah, I've seen that. I went and took a look at everything.
30.
So you what I'm trying to say is you're definitely well.
Yeah.
You're well. You know some people out here for sure.
Just gonna double check.
No, you're good. You're good.
No. Okay, sorry. It's just we have a girl coming on. Okay, we got time. Yeah. So I'm just crafty.
Yeah.
Like when I got Chris, it's like I just know like he's one I just emailed and he replied.
Yeah.
Who else did I have? Ryan, Life in Bamboo. Just Instagram's the better way with YouTubers.
Yeah.
Because most of them don't have followings on Instagram, so it's a good way to get through.
True.
For Chris, because he was doing life bag stuff with 5-Star Marine and Sean Stenning, and they were doing the bagging over at Sutai Gym, which is down the road. And Nando, I'm good friends with. He's the owner of that gym. So like I just saw Chris there, and I'm not gonna just DM him. I know the better way is like I'll just message Nando and ask Nando to pass the message.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm good buddies, like close. I talked to Adam Jones, which is Chris's. Oh, sorry, not Adam Jones. Adam Parker.
Okay. I was gonna
which
say
is
Adam Jones. I'm like, isn't he?
That's Key's one. Yeah.
Okay.
So Adam Parker, which is Chris's nephew behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and being able to have those conversations. But yeah. Chris, I just hit up, and he probably was only he had to be before he probably just broke 150, and now he's almost breaking to 4. This would have been 2 years ago. So yeah, I kind of reach out to people.
I need to learn your tactic here, because even for me, like I've met Keys, we've gone out twice, but like I just messaged him on Instagram, I was like, yo, what's up? Like, I don't know, just kind of did the same thing, but. Like other YouTubers, I want to be able to, because I've met some other YouTubers, and like some of them, especially in the whole nightlife thing, I wasn't a big fan of. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of them, they just found like they weren't like, and this might sound, I don't know how to say it, cocky or whatever, but like for me being 27, and then some of them I would meet that were like 30, 32, 33, 35, they weren't as mature as me already. And it was like a weird thing where I was like, man, if you're gonna go out with your camera, stop trying to, I'm not going to bring you with me next time if you're going to go and piss off all these bar girls or not spend money. Like, we're in Thailand in the bar scene, spend some money, or at least offer the mama san a drink, or just things like that, like respect Thailand. I want to live here long term.
You're collabing with them a bit.
Just a little bit with the streamers and stuff. And I was like, yo, like, I want to live here long term. Don't fuck it up for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, there was a lot of those streamers that, those big streamers, you probably don't, but a lot of the big streamers, they almost got thrown in jail in Bangkok and stuff like that. I was friends with like 1 or 2 of them. And I don't know. I'm not really anymore. I don't want to be associated with those kind of people.
They'll burn your bridges here.
Yeah.
The reality is when you come back into Thailand, the immigration can know who you are and they can fuck with you a bit.
Yeah.
I know that happened to Chad from CB Media.
It happened to me a little bit too.
Yeah, they'll just be like, oh, okay, you're coming in. We know who you are. Show me a work permit, blah, blah, blah. And they can fuck around a bit.
For me, they just kind of gave me a hard time, and I was like, yo, look, I'm a YouTuber, because I'd leave the country and come back. And then, but when I went back to Canada in a different calendar year, and then I came actually back to Thailand, they held me there for like a while. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm a YouTuber. I'll be gone in like 2 months. I'll go make videos over here, and I'll go over here, and then I'll maybe come back. I explained that to her. She's like, you did all these COVID extensions. I'm like, that's what you guys told me to do. Like, when I went to the immigration, you guys were like, yeah, just do this COVID extension and give me this much money, and now you're good. So I think just Bangkok airport, like BKK, is one of the worst ones to come in through. Actually, she was like, you got a girlfriend here? I was like, yeah. She's like, where is she? She's like, waiting outside. Like, I'll call her. And then she had to call her, and all I heard was madai, which means it's like cannot. And then eventually I got through, which was nice. They finally did let me through. And then when I came back through again after going to Laos, they gave me kind of the same kind of rundown.
Yeah.
So now I've actually loophole for anyone who is ever trying to stay in Thailand as long as possible. Once they start giving you that grief, do visa runs with visa agents and visa companies, and you can really stay a lot longer. But I know we got to wrap this up, but 2 things I'll say is, or a few things. I am going to be getting a business visa very soon, because I'm actually opening a bar with a friend in Pattaya, which is cool. Big news. It should be open in like 2 weeks in LK Metro in Pattaya. Like, it's a big ass. So when you were saying earlier, to tap into like, oh, I have this much money, and if I ever get too low, I pretty much made like a big investment in a bar, and it's going to have like my name kind of on it too, sort of thing. Like, it's mine and my friend's bar, and my friend, he's always been in a lot of my YouTube videos. He's almost like, if anyone knows one character out of my videos, it's him. And everyone goes and meets him at the bars here in Otop. He sold all his bars here in Patong, and he just went up to Pattaya. So that, and also I'm pretty sure, I don't want to get too excited about it because I haven't started working there yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll be starting working in like a grow op in like a few months. But I have a friend from California who got this job opportunity, and he pretty much said like, hey, look, I just need someone else, you and one other person. I'll be giving you a percentage of what we grow and sell. Would you be interested? Just work like 2-3 days a week, sort of thing. I was like, absolutely. Like, the numbers he told me, I was like, heck yeah, dude. Like, sign me up. And he pretty much just said, I just don't want an idiot. And you were a nice guy. I met him in Bali like five years ago, the first time that I went, and COVID hit. And he was just a nice dude. He's like, yeah, dude. So in the future here, that's why I said I'm moving to Bangkok, Pattaya, is because I'll be owning a bar in Pattaya and then working in Bangkok a few days a week.
Oh, so the grow up's in Bangkok, and then you'll go on the weekends too.
So a legal grow. So with the YouTube, I'll have to get an actual business visa, and then hopefully like that. This is the investment I'm trying to make, and hopefully now we can start saving money, because from the money I had with the car, it's just been slowly going down. So,
I'll turn that. I don't know who that is. So I'm the worst. I didn't even turn my silent off.
I know. I did it earlier. I was just like, just in case, First time on a podcast to me, I was like, I got to get everything ready.
Sometimes I got it ready. This turns into kind of, it's just so casual now for me.
Yeah, I settled in. I feel good
it's
now.
good. That's what I mean. You can go for 2 hours. It's just more for people. Like, I think it's more for people to like click it. Like, do I want to watch that whole thing? I don't know who that is. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up, and I'll call this person. I actually had so many more questions to ask.
It's tough. It is tough.
We'll have to do it again. Even with Key's one with Adam, he came back right away.
I'm down, dude. This is fun.
He's like, oh shit, we have more to talk, and that's when I crashed my bike and fucked up my toe that I still can't walk on.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I will say is just the one thing you wanted to ask was that the girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much how it worked with her is I met her, and then I was already doing the videos. And so she's from Chiang Mai, and she just pretty much told me like, yo, like, I'm not gonna. This is your baby. This is like your.
She was a bar girl or no?
No. She was just like she got an English major, went to university and stuff like that. Her parents are from a smaller village. She's kind of like a village girl, but her parents have like a rice farm. They do okay. They had enough money to send her to college and everything and university. So, yeah, pretty much was just. She just told me like, I'm not gonna tell you can't do it just because we're dating now. Like, you started doing it, and my YouTube wasn't, it wasn't always just traveling and seeing cool beaches and all that kind of cool stuff. It's a lot of it is nightlife with girls, but a lot of the girls I film with, actually, they know I have a girlfriend, which makes it so much easier.
But does she live here, or is she in Chiang Mai?
She's here right now, but she's actually got a job working for Singapore Airlines. So she's actually just up here for a week visiting. So this morning, like, I left. I was okay. I got to go do this thing up in Sarin Beach or whatever. So I whipped out. By the way, guys, it's freaking. I got here like 11:40. I do this podcast is early. I'm never usually like I'm up at this time, but like.
What time are you going to bed?
Well, last night I actually went to bed at it was like 8:30 because I knew how to do this, and I was had a few beers on the beach and passed out at like 8:30, which is I woke up at 5 in the morning today, and I still was late. It's because of bird shit in my helmet. I didn't know if I wanted to. Seriously, I was a bird shit in my helmet. I didn't know if I want to put the helmet on or get bird shit on my hat. So then I just I didn't want to get pulled over, and anyways. Yeah,
no, it's and your girlfriend, but I mean, how long have you guys been together?
Like a year and over a year.
Has she been on your channel?
Yeah. Just actually a few days ago, I had her on my my live stream, and this is funny because some people will always be like, "Oh, like you don't have a girlfriend," or, "Oh, she just wants your money too." The reality is that she's got more money than I do. She's the one working at Singapore Airlines. I'm still the one that is trying to, get into this job with the grow up business, and like I said, I've just been working there, and then actually with the bar too. Like, so she's got the better job.
And it's different because like there's a lot of like Thai YouTuber girls, like I think Icy, Pearly G. She was doing some stuff. For them, like they could never bring a boyfriend on because then the audience is like, fuck that guy. Oh, I don't want to watch you. But for you, I'm assuming your audience is like, cool, you got a girlfriend. Yeah. Can you get that? Can you turn that over to that girl there for like, they're there to just see the girls and buy them bar drinks or to see what you're doing on that side. So you showing the girlfriend doesn't affect your audience
at all. They love because I tell her, hey, yo, babe, I'm like, make sure you're looking real good tonight. Make sure you're looking, just work on it. Make sure a girl can go out two ways. They can go out for work, or they can go out. And I was like, go out tonight, and I promise we'll get donations. And sure enough, we do.
Would you?
They even said, they're like, yo, turn the camera. There's some guy with some subscribers trying to talk to me, and they're like, turn the camera away from him. Let's keep looking at your girl and you. We just want to talk to you guys. So yeah.
Would you do like content in the sense of like it's you and your girlfriend, you're at the bar, and kind of the thumbnails like, oh my god, I can't believe she caught me here type of thing?
I mean, yeah,
like that type of clickbait.
Nah,
or would you not bring her too deep into it?
I've tried. So this is one thing I've always done, and I wanted to leave this last one as not members only because some of my streams, if I'll make them members only. Say if I didn't want I don't know, say I didn't want like her mom or dad to watch it, because my mom and dad know what I do and whatever. Say like hers are really like more traditional Thai people. Maybe I didn't want them to watch it, so I maybe make that members only. Maybe I did something in there. I was like, maybe I had to go and smooth it over with her, like, hey, by the way, like, sorry about this one part, because she sees them all, right? She watches the live streams. But yeah, I don't really want to. Guys,
I guarantee you this is the guest, but I told her just to wait. Let me answer that. We'll cut back. I have a feeling it's the guest. Sorry, one sec. Hello. Yeah, give it to Sir and Bayan. My God, buddy, like, get it together. Thank you. Bye.
I heard you could hear that in here too. You should keep that in. That was hilarious.
Right,
that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Okay, man, it's Carrie. The guy calls like 6 times. It literally, like, every delivery just says leave it at the hotel next door. But like, really, you got to call 8 times?
But yeah, so my girl's cool with it. Sometimes I gotta smooth things over, but for the most part, I'm getting better at just telling girls if it gets too weird in the night, I'll be like, by the way, I got a girlfriend, just so you know, like, don't touch me. You know, don't.
Do you have to go out with maybe a shirt with a picture of you and her on it?
No, that would be pretty funny, actually. I should do that one day for a video, honestly. Yeah, they'd be like, who's that? I'm like, oh, that's my girlfriend. They're like, why are you here? It's like, I'm making a video.
I'm taking half the money if that goes viral and gets monetized. I'm joking.
By all means, man.
No, I'm joking. Okay, we'll wrap it up. I got another guest coming up.
No problem, dude. This is fun.
A hairstyle. We'll come back on for sure, because there's so many more questions I wanted to talk about, like ladyboys, trannies, and mama sons. We didn't even get into mama sons. Yeah. That will be. I think that will be the next one, and maybe diving into the nightlife. The do's and don'ts, the FAQs, what the real vets know, and how to deal with that. I mean, I've been here 7 years, so I think there will be a lot more interesting golden nuggets. The first one's always about the story and what's going on. Totally. And I think there's some awesome content, especially for people that want to get into the YouTube game. You shared a lot of stuff, even for myself and your thought
as
process,
a small YouTuber,
that most people wouldn't think about, and it's great added value. Okay, so before we wrap it up, this is your camera here. We're just gonna kick it back to this camera and just let everyone know where they're able to find you, all your socials and that stuff.
So yeah, everything is Brennybrez. So BRENNY. BREZ, and YouTube. I don't really post on TikTok, so don't worry about TikTok, but YouTube, and then Kick. I do stream on Kick as well. So Kick is a new live stream platform. I don't know if you really heard about. Yeah, it's a new one trying to rival Twitch or whatever. So I do stream on there as well. It's Brennybrez. So everything's the same. Instagram, whatever. Everyone wants to DM me, Brennybrez. I usually reply back to. I'm at that stage where I still reply to pretty much every DM.
I try to. Sometimes I just pass it on to other people.
No, I watched that one. I watched that.
My secrets?
Yeah, I know your secrets.
Well, I just don't want to deal with it. I'll explain why off the camera. All right, that wraps up another episode. We got another one coming up in a minute. I think we're like 4 weeks ahead. So this one, well, you're watching it because it's not live. So anyways, enjoy. All right, we're out. Thanks.